Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to Story Time with Adam Cole, baby.
It doesn't matter how elite you are. It's like missionary position every single night.
The truth is the truth.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Kenny No Balls Omega.
Hey, buddy. Good to see ya. Good to see ya.
This is me in my purest form.
That along the way, I unlocked something truly evil.
Free the Titan.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of appropriate ages, Nerdies proudly presents to you its internet and podcast trios champions of the world. I am 1/3 of those champions, co-host of this show, the alpha of alphas, the Lord and Master of the universe. She's lucky, she's cute, and I love her to pieces. I am Justin. As always, joined by my co-host, my hetero life mate, father of the most adorable little girl on this podcast, god of the dad bod, king of chaos himself.
Kyle. Oh my god.
Our third in our trio is not here, so the Van Damme of the Body Slam says he's at a Halloween party, allegedly. So that leaves all of you to bow down and prepare yourselves for the man, the myth, the legend, hailing from parts well known. He is the mouth of the East, God's favorite atheist,
Mike, and I really need a red marker.
And, of course, our dude, the $1 million mensch himself,
There it is.
the oldest of the young boys.
Alright. Joe, who does have a red marker. Alright. You guys don't understand. She didn't just want a red marker, she needed a red marker. Kyle, if I could pass this to you through the internet, I totally would.
I don't think Jill would be pleasantly happy about you passing a red Sharpie to their very young child.
I literally asked her what she needed a red marker for. So I was like, what the heck? Come on.
Chalk outlines.
So he wants to stay on the show forever.
Yeah!
It's your bedtime. Can I get a smooch?
You want Baba?
Okay.
You want Baba?
Love you. Love you. Love you.
Love you for.
Mwah. Mwah. So love all of you out there. This podcast. Enter Joe. It belittles you. You guys see that? Daddy first favorite. Yeah.
I saw
She was
Daddy
gripping
first
you.
favorite.
She was gripping you like that. Daddy. Mommy's second favorite.
This is Wrestling with Ourselves, where we talk about wrestling shenanigans and usually run down pay-per-views, but I don't even remember the last show that happened anytime recently. So instead, I have a couple bullet points, some major headlines, I guess, in the world of wrestling. Let's start with one that might not be so well known to everybody else in this group, but there is a possibility that Kyle knows what MLW is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Major League Wrestling?
It is.
Gonna get?
Yeah.
Wow. That's really hard to figure out. They were cryptic.
It is. I'd say like the fourth biggest promotion in the U.S. give or take. Run by Court Bauer, former wrestling dirt sheet guy.
I mean, it might be the 5th biggest now because of NWA.
Yeah, but NWA, I don't know if you saw the video of this yet, but they did a skit in the audience where one of their wrestlers was doing lines of coke with a bunch of hookers. I'm not making that up.
Okay.
Bringing back the territory days, brother.
That's late 90s Vince shit right there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, obviously, they're still on top. AEW second. Does Impact still exist?
We'll get to them.
All right.
So, MJF came out of MLW.
That's A-okay.
A couple other guys. Possibly their biggest name. Currently, at least, is asking for his release.
Anyone we'd know?
Kyle might know who Hammerstone is. Alexander Hammerstone.
I'm not sure if that's a great name or a horrendous one. I'm trying to. I saw a clip of somebody that went and did a show at MLW. I'm trying to think if it was Moxley. Maybe it was Ethan Page.
I think
went and had a match with that guy.
It could have
obviously won, but helped put over the guy though.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah.
And I guess he feels that he's outgrown the company because he wants out. Don't know if there's interest by other parties, either the Fed or Tony Khan's Playhouse.
He's going to get picked up by Vince. They're going to change his name to Stony Hammercock or something.
Well, I don't know if we covered it or not. Vince got booted from everything. Like
again this week?
From 2 days, 2 days into their deal with Anthem, they were like, "You're not good for business. Bye-bye." So
in front of the cameras, bye-bye, or
no. This was all like, "You're done. You can still have your shares of the company, but you're being removed from everything." So right now, WWE is 100% being run by Paul Levesque.
Vince hasn't been on camera at all?
No, dude. They were, after it came out about the Fed probe that he's going through right now, they were they're cutting all ties. They're like, Vince who? McMahon what? We own WWE now.
Yeah, it's interesting that Paul's running everything now, because there's been a couple things recently that are pretty cool, things that I haven't seen out of them in a while.
Yeah. The product over there is hands down better than it's been in years. And they're going to do it without CM Punk. Because despite what the internet thought was going to happen, WWE put to rest any rumors and were like, at this time, we're not interested in any kind of working relationship with Phil Brooks.
Yeah.
I think that's because a few of their very top guys were very vocal about not wanting him in. Seth Rollins called him a cancer to the locker room. And you start weighing out when it comes to Seth, because his contract is due soon. Do you make him happy by not bringing CM Punk so you can keep him? Or do you potentially push him in the direction of going somewhere like AEW, where it would be a huge get for Khan and a huge loss for WWE?
I'll say this right now. All right. I don't love him. I think it's been documented many times on this show. He's all right.
Rollins?
Okay. I respect his work. I do not love him.
Mm-hmm.
But given all the stuff that he's said, specifically on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, and especially the back and forth he had with Will Ospreay a few years back, there is not a single performer in that company that I think it would be funnier if they joined AEW.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if that news was announced, I almost guarantee I would laugh out loud, for real, at that. Because he's probably second only to Paul Levesque for the people who have basically been completely dismissive of AEW as a company.
Yeah.
So that would be hilarious.
But he's got friends there.
Yeah. I mean, of course he does. But, you know, is what it is. It's not like, I don't know. Whatever.
Okay. Well, that's the Hammerstone news. That's the Punk update. So don't hold your breath on seeing CM Punk wrestle probably ever again.
I'm trying to remember who said it from the company, and it was somebody up there who was like, it would make no sense for us to hire him. He was just fired by someone, and let's not forget when he left here,
Booker.
he was fired. Oh, I was right, it was Booker.
Yeah.
Booker, I don't always agree with Booker, but that's not like, I don't stand, like, there's some things that come out of his mouth where I'm like, really?
The times,
But he's a very intelligent person.
the times that I nod along with Booker is anytime it has to do with the business itself. Not his not his personal issues with other wrestlers, but when he's just like, as a business, it doesn't make sense for us to do this thing. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. 1 + 1 does not make 2 here.
Yeah.
This is not good math.
Bryan Danielson broke his orbital bone in a match with Okada the other day on AEW television. That sucks.
Yeah, I gotta go back and watch that match, man.
You did, it was good.
This was tag, wasn't it?
Yeah. So, I think Okada's wrestling Cesaro this week. That's cool.
That's very cool.
That's a fun thing.
He's gonna make Okada look not that big, though.
That's fine. Okada's still going to wrestle like Okada. And Cesaro's a fucking machine. Second to last news item here that I have is the other night on Collision, MJF wrestled Kenny Omega for the title. Because MJF is about to surpass Omega's streak as champion, which I think by today he probably did.
I believe so.
Fucking great match. Like, really, really good pay-per-view quality match for free on television on Collision. And afterwards, MJF and Omega both got on the mic. And it was...
Well, they did. They were both exhausted.
Yes.
In opposite corners of the ring. And MJF called for a microphone and was handed one and started talking while he was still gasping for air sitting in the ring.
Yeah. And then he gave the mic to Kenny, and Kenny cut a nice promo where he's like, talked about his career winding down. And how MJF's like the new face of AEW, and he feels confident that, he's going to be running the ship for years to come, and yada, yada, yada. It was nice. It was a nice fucking promo.
Yeah, it's getting harder and harder, though, for MJF to be able to say, I still don't know what I'm going to do with the bidding war of 2024.
Listen, even
though the biggest names in this company have all given me their stamp of approval to be the guy in the company going forward, I don't know what I'm going to do.
The moment MJF got the belt, not one person should be questioning whether or not he extended his contract or not. Because as scattered as Tony Khan is, he is still a businessman, and there's not a fucking chance that he was going to put the belt on a dude that was going to leave the company.
Well, he could have him drop it before.
Not this kind of reign. If it was a 1 month thing, it'd be like, yeah, MJF's probably out. But he's been champion for over a year now.
For MJF's part of that go home thing, though, it was pretty sweet. Before he gave the mic to Kenny, he told the story about how, so like he trained to create a pro, which I don't know if Mike and Joe know this, but he's mentioned it a couple times in interviews, but also like in promos. And he said the first company he ever worked for was, what did he say it was called, Five Boroughs or something like that?
I think so.
And it was I think he said it might have actually been his first show, and he was the opening match. And when he was looking out, he saw Kenny Omega just happened to be there in the crowd, and after his match, Kenny Omega pulled him to the side, and he picked Kenny Omega's brain about just like the business and everything. And then he went to like basically thank every member of the Elite that started the company and Tony Khan, but he did it like with the normal jabs, like even though he was a mark, like that kind of stuff. And then he specifically, when he gave the mic over to Kenny, said that he wanted Kenny to do the bang end to the show, which I thought was pretty cool because I don't think Kenny expected that.
Yeah.
How many more things do you have?
Uno más.
One more.
Yes.
I feel like I texted you about like 4 other things that we didn't talk about.
Did you? I thought it was only one thing. It was only that.
No. Oh, I told you all the other stuff that I saw.
Oh, right. Roman.
Yeah, because there's definitely at least 2 of those things that I definitely want to talk about.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, Malachi Black made his return to AEW after whining again that he doesn't get used.
Yeah.
On the internets, of course. My problem with AEW is Tony has collected all these great talents, but he doesn't need writers, but he needs better like show producing to utilize and like keep people in storylines better. Because like some of these guys are talented, but they're not creative enough, right? So if they're not coming up with ideas and giving them to the people in the back, they're not getting on television, which is unfortunate. Like that's the problem with guys like Miro and Malachi Black. They have, they're great performers, but it doesn't seem like they have the creative push of someone like MJF, right? Where WWE, it's very like we have producers, we have writers. These are the people we're going to put out there on television every week. These are the people we're pushing, yada yada yada. Like way more structured. AEW doesn't need to be as structured, but it needs a bit more structure.
Yes.
But he came back and he like kicked Bryan Danielson in the face. But that's gonna have to wait a little bit since Bryan's got
Somehow that's not what broke his orbital.
No. Well, a nice knee to the face can do that. Then LA Knight, got up in Roman Reigns' face, and they're gonna have a match at Blood Money, Blood in the Sand 12.
To add details to this, and this is one of the things that, like, Hunter taking over, I think the setup for this was cool. Because the setup for it was the normal, we're starting the show with a contract signing. And we should have known something was going to happen because the champ came out first. And Justin, I don't know if you actually saw this clip, but guys, he's not even halfway down the ramp with Paul Heyman. And when he goes to do the like spitting mist thing that he does, and he goes to raise his belt. As he's raising his belt up in the air, LA Knight's music hits. He cuts Roman's entrance off and just walks straight to the ring. Does not look at Roman or Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
Just completely dismissive of the champion. Walks right to the ring, gets in the ring, and as Roman approaches the ring, he sits down at the head of the table and makes Roman sit at the side of the table. I don't care whose idea it was. I don't care if it was Paul's, Roman's. It doesn't matter if it was LA Knight's. I love the whole setup for the signing.
It was my idea.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Nice, Joe.
You're brilliant.
Thank you.
It's your best work since The Shining.
Thank you. It was brilliant.
Why haven't we made that a shirt yet either?
I mean, how does it work, though? Do we take a picture of Shelley Duvall's face all wide-eyed and just put "It's brilliant" underneath it? Or do we take a picture of Joe's face?
I think we do Joe. We put Joe in the Shelley Duvall role.
How would we do that? Because I'd have to walk up to the. No, if it's just a picture.
It's just a
Just a
picture.
picture. We get your eyes and part of your face covered by a book for a stack of paper. Just all wide-eyed.
Yeah. It's brilliant.
Brilliant. And 5 of us would laugh at it, and 1 of us would buy the shirt.
I would buy one.
I'd buy it. Okay, 2 of us would buy the shirt.
Pat would buy it.
Maybe.
The other thing to talk about is Sting announced that he's winding down. He is retiring in February is when that pay-per-view is, or March, or whatever.
Yeah, it's February, March. I don't remember which. But yeah, and I don't know if this is your last topic, but this is what I hoped was going to be the last topic.
Is not the last topic. I do have one more.
Man, because, guys, so 1 week he comes out with Tony Schiavone, just like in WCW, comes out, talks to everybody, says he's going to be done wrestling, and does the only thing about Sting that's for sure is nothing's for sure, but this time changes it to say that this retirement is for sure. 1 week later, he's brought out to the ring by Tony Schiavone and told that Tony Khan has a present for him. And while he's waiting for the present is revealed to be Ric Flair coming out and coming down to the ring and telling Sting that whatever time is left in Sting's career, Ric Flair wants to be there for the ride. Okay, is this the first time Flair has shown up on AEW? Yes. Okay, so that's potentially, though. We're getting Sting and Ric Flair together, I don't know, with probably Darby Allin also. So there's some combination of the 3 of them together. They should call their group De-Evolution. From what is now October until February or March, according to Ric Flair. I don't know if that's going to be real or not, but that's pretty incredible that we could potentially be getting 6 months of Ric Flair and Sting together again. That sounds really good to me, unless Flair wants to actually get in the ring again. Well, so they basically covered that with the whole... Oh, I forgot to say this. So the guy that came out to interrupt them when they were having a little powwow in the ring was Christian Cage. So,
oh my God. First off, hold on.
I think inevitably we know who... Well, Justin and I know who... it's going to be 3v3.
Yeah.
So it's going to be Christian, Luchasaurus, and Nick Wayne. And then they basically said, the 2 of you, meaning Sting and Darby Allin, can take Rick as their partner, or they could pick somebody else, which is the setup for, I think, the 3rd person, obviously, to be Adam Copeland. Right?
Christian is the greatest heel in the business.
Better than MJF?
Yeah. Yeah, because he delivered a line to Flair during this thing the other day.
I mean, it wasn't the most clever line, but it definitely cut deep.
Doesn't
and
matter.
You could tell that Flair was loving it.
Yeah. It was something along the lines of Flair.
I'll correct you if you say it wrong.
Flair said something. Somehow God got brought up, and Christian was like, "Now we all know if there was a real God, you would have died 20 years ago."
Closer to 30.
But Christian's shit has been incredible. I mean, it's good seeing Rick, but I would hope he stays retired. Please.
Oh, yeah, I really think he is just going to be
like
maybe a corner man for Sting.
Yeah.
For the next 5 or 6 months. And, I mean, that's pretty sweet for Darby Allin, too.
Sure.
But, I mean, because if Ric Flair's been backstage, they've been keeping it pretty quiet. Even though Andrade's still there. His son-in-law.
Yeah.
But I think the fact that he will be backstage, given the fact that he's had past interactions with, like, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks and stuff, like, I think that's pretty good for the locker room to have him there.
If he spent the rest of his life, not just career, the rest of his life ringside, poking people in the eyes and tripping them with canes, if he turned into classy Freddie Blassie from now until the day he died, that would be the perfect way for him to end his career.
That'd be great.
You don't leave the business. I get it. You either financially or emotionally can't leave the business, but he has to have looked in the mirror at this point and been like, I can't do in-ring work anymore. That last match was unfortunate for everyone. So this is the middle ground.
Yeah.
So, the thing I find weird about this timing, though, and I hate to make this topic go on longer than it needs to, but Tully Blanchard hasn't been on TV for a long time.
Yeah.
In AEW, even though he has managed 4 other people that are still under contract in AEW over time, and recently it was announced that Arn Anderson is no longer with the company.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like weird, because you could have got like a 3 out of the 4 Horsemen reunion potentially with Rick being there, even if it was just like a backstage segment or something. But that's clearly not going to be the case now.
I bet they can get Steve Mongo McMichaels cheap too.
Actually, Sting was a Horseman for a little while, wasn't he?
Was he?
He might have been one of the pseudo.
Yeah.
The last bit of news I have involves Impact Wrestling. And it reverting back to the TNA name as of this past weekend. Yes, it is now, once again, Total Nonstop Action Wrestling. Because they say there's legacy in the name. And people still called it TNA even though it's been Impact for like 4 years.
Wasn't Impact the name of their show?
It was the name of their Raw. And then
Is
they
that
changed.
going to stay? Because they've already got strength in that brand.
Yeah, the show will still remain Impact. But the company went back to TNA, which is fine. It's all good.
That is an older name, right? That carries weight from the...
That was the... Yeah. But that's it for Wrestling With Ourselves this week. It's a short show, kids, I understand. But we're going to be going live with our Halloween special. You'll have already seen, possibly heard it by the time you listen to this anyway. So, I bid you adieu. Goodbye. Good night. Fuck yourself.
Love you. Bang.
Bang.
Woo. As always, if you like what you hear, I like how Justin said that like it was the last thing to be said.
Yeah.
As always, if you like what you hear, You can like us on Facebook.com/Nerdities. Follow us on Twitter @Nerdities. Email us at nerdities@gmail.com and check out nerdities.com.
While you're there, also, fuck yourself. And go over to nerdities.myspreadshop.com and buy our t-shirts. The Halloween shirts are up there. It's kind of late for those, I guess. But you buy them for next year. Christmas shirts, always available. Apparently, we're going to be doing a new Joe shirt. We don't have a Hanukkah we need to work on that. We need a Hanukkah shirt, don't we?
I wonder who we could feature on a Hanukkah shirt.
Hanukkah Harry himself, Joe.
Hanukkah Harry? On Shlomo. On Shlomo.
I think
Mensch on the bench.
I think we should have a menorah, and instead of flames, they're all Joe's face.
That's incredible.
That's really funny.
I like it.
I'd rock it.
Head over to can'tstoptheropedrop.myspreadshop.com to get t-shirts from the other Disney-related podcasts that I have that Mike is also featured on fairly often. Head to sinfulcreationsbyjustin.com. That's CINNFUL creationsbyjustin.com. Get sweet treats. Holiday menu will be dropping shortly. There'll be a big old holiday gift basket that you can order featuring a bunch of the treats. And I'll cover it in the next show, but I have a theory about Kyle's wife to go over. Yeah. That's it. That's all I've got to say.
Check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/nerdities. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell to get notified when we're dropping new content, because new content is coming, including, well, by the time you hear this, our live show will be available for replay. We'll have Nerd ETs. That is our cooking show. Very fun.
Hey, we got to talk about recording some filming some more.
Yeah, that will be a season. Also, if you want to sponsor Nerdities, write to us at nerdities@gmail.com. We'll croon, we'll spoon, we'll talk about your product and or business.
We'll tickle your balls.
Giggity giggity, hooray.
Fuck bye.
Bye-bye.
The opinions of Nerdy's crew, alcohol with that, don't we next week's will be far more insulting. I think he gave you that face because his daughter's in the room.
I mean, I said titties earlier.
Not really as bad.
I guess not. Titties.
We did that tonight. We made that man proud. So this doesn't end tonight. This does not end tonight. As long as this company's around, as long as I'm around, and I know the rest of you will be here, we're gonna do that every time.